多謝各位出席親切運動零界限共融運動對社會共融嘅影響同埋成後研究結果發佈會。呢項研究係由親切委託香港浸會大學教育學系進行。我係親切機構嘅總監，亦係今日嘅主持同埋機構發言人 Mabel。今日亦會有親切嘅服務主管李嘉萱女士、香港浸會大學教育學系主任秀冠女士、Professor Atara Sivan 以及香港浸會大學教育學系客席教授譚超雲教授一齊發布重要嘅數據。另外，我哋亦邀請到能障年青人嘅家長同埋參與計劃嘅義工，分享疫情對能障子女影響同埋發展，以及共融運動為佢哋帶嚟啲咩改變嘅。今日發佈會係會透過親切 Facebook 網上直播。發佈會主要會分為4個部分。個部分係會解疫情期間能障青少年身心發展所受到嘅影響。第二部分係會發布親切運動零界限共融運動對社會共融嘅影響同埋成效研究。第三部分係會分享策劃同埋推動共融運動嘅5大成功要點。最後我哋會有問答嘅環節。各位嘉賓同埋傳媒朋友可以透過 Zoom 嘅問與答，即係 Q&A 嘅位置去發問問題。為方便適應大家請大家喺你哋嘅熒光幕都顯示你哋嘅稱呼同埋所屬機構。首先，我都介紹今日嘅主辦機構親切。親切係成立於1979年，係一間以兒童共融為使命嘅慈善機構。致力為每位兒童建立一個共融嘅社會。我哋透過教育、體驗同埋生活嘅經驗，以及互動嘅共融活動，令到唔同能力同埋背景嘅兒童同埋青少年可以互相學習，發揮所長嘅。我哋立即開始第一個部分，有關疫情對能障青少年身心發展嘅影響。喺呢3年嘅新冠疫情期間，唔少研究同埋調查都顯示，香港嘅能障兒童同埋青少年缺乏社交同埋康樂活動，令到佢哋身心同埋社交發展受到好大嘅阻礙。家長們都表示，子女嘅行為問題情緒管理同埋溝通能力都受到負面嘅影響，有惡化嘅跡象。而家社區都處於復常嘅階段啦，佢哋身心發展都出現滯後嘅情況。我哋發現社區對疫後幫助能障青少年融入社會嘅同埋建立身心發展嘅支援亦都較少嘅。咁今日我哋邀請到 Peggy 能障青年嘅家長親身嚟到分享佢仔仔喺疫情期間同埋復常呢個階段喺佢身心發展上面面對啲咩嘢困難同埋挑戰嘅。咁我將時間交俾嘉萱同埋 Peggy。
好啊，唔該晒 Mabel。咁今日好高興可以邀請到 Peggy 啦，咁作為我哋嘅嘉賓分享啦。咁就你嘅仔仔阿君耀，咁佢就喺2019年至到21年期間參與咗親切嘅共融運動計劃㗎。咁可唔可以都簡單介紹一下你自己先呢？
好啦，咁我叫 Peggy 啦，咁我姐姐就係君耀就今年15歲啦。咁佢係一個輕度自閉症嘅小朋友嚟嘅。咁因為我自己之前都係個全職媽媽，咁直至到君耀12歲嗰年我都決定就係喺佢呢個黃金嘅時間啦，青少年最反叛嘅時間就做一個全職媽媽。咁希望喺呢段時間就可以多啲陪伴啦，同埋喺各方面可以輔助下佢咯。
咁知道君耀其實參與我哋嘅共融帆船計劃啦、欖球計劃嘅時候正值喺疫情啊。咁喺嗰3年裏邊頭先你都講到君耀係一個黃金嘅發展期啦。咁對於佢唔能夠如常返學或者參與活動其實對佢有咩影響呢？
其實喺呢3年嘅疫情裏邊咁對阿君耀都幾多嘅負面影響啊。因為首先學校啦就唔可以如常咁返學啦。咁返學其實係佢哋一個好恆常嘅訓練嘅程序嚟㗎。咁第二亦都係當其時都唔鼓勵咁出街啦。咁變咗喺君耀喺社交能力啦、個溝通能力啦，或者係嗰個積極嘅主導性去學嘢嗰個各方面呢3大障礙我覺得係比以前係差咗好多咯。
咁知道君耀或者 君耀媽媽你其實都好喜歡用運動啦，或者一啲康樂活動去令到佢有一個更好嘅成長㗎。咁但係喺疫情之下，我諗非常之困難啦。咁你當中遇到啲咩困難咧？喺參與裏邊？
咁因為冇得翻學啦，所以好多嘢我都係停頓咗。唯一可以做咧，就係自己去安排唔同嘅活動俾個仔咯。咁例如我仔就中意跑步啊、運動啊、踩單車啊、游水咁樣。咁變咗我哋可以同佢去跑步啦。但係因為跑步咧嗰段期間係要用口罩啊嘛，咁變咗就算佢幾中意跑步，一戴上口罩咧，佢就唔願喐啦。咁變咗就改咗做行路咯。咁另外游水都係啦，亦都係嗰陣時正值係冬天嘅時候啊，所以就算我去帶去海灘都唔可以，一來海灘嗰陣時封咗啦，同埋你去冬天游水都唔係咁適合喺嗰段時間。咁跟住就諗住同佢去踩單車啦，踩單車其實都係佢一個好中意嘅活動嚟嘅，但係無奈我哋去到單車徑嘅時候咧，發覺啲單車鋪係完全冇開嘅，即係話你想去租單車，亦都冇單車可以俾你租咯。所以到最後我哋係決定去咗行山。但因為行山嗰段期間咧，全香港人咧唯一個活動就係行山，所以去到邊度都人山人海咯。所以變咗喺個安排嘅活動方面，係呢幾個困難係比較嚴重啲咯。
咁啊，聽到其實佢都好喜歡運動啦，咁冇得參與，我諗對佢都有一定嘅影響。你覺得運動啊或者康樂嘅活動對於君耀啦，尤其是一個特殊需要嘅小朋友，有幾重要咧？
我諗都非常重要，因為正值佢家青少年期啦，咁佢都活力充沛啦，後生咁細個，咁變咗佢冇咗運動之後咧，成日就屈住喺屋企啦，咁變咗個人個情緒咧就比較負面，同埋容易啲發脾氣嘅。咁同埋你缺乏咗運動，你屋企始終唔會太大噶嘛，咁你屋企最多對住埲牆打乒乓波，咁變咗消耗體力都係好有限咯，原地跳嗰啲咁樣，咁變咗佢嗰個運動量唔夠，變咗對佢嘅飲食啦，同埋嗰個作息時間，即係睡眠時間，亦都係嗰個質素係差咗好多咯。
咁講翻而家啦，因為都已經係疫後嘅時間啦，同埋好多防疫措施已經放寬咗，可唔可以都而家嗰個君耀喺參與康樂運動啊，或者翻學之後有冇一啲唔同咧，或者改善咧？
呢個係完全係非常之唔同啊，變咗令即係嗰個首先翻學啦，恆常翻學1至5啦，咁變咗佢有一個固定咗嗰個訓練時間咯。咁同埋佢每日放學之後咧，都有學校都搞咗好多嘅課外活動。咁1至4學校都有唔同嘅課外活動安排俾佢哋，都係主要都係運動方面。咁變咗恆常而家復常咗之後咧，咁變咗所有恆常嘅訓練佢都回復翻啦。咁而星期5或者 weekend 嘅時候，我哋都安排咗啲游水啊、跑步嘅訓練俾佢咯。咁整體上變咗佢嗰個無論係社交，你始終接觸多咗唔同嘅人，或者小朋友或者同學老師，咁變咗喺個社交方面，佢會講多少少，咁變咗有明顯嘅進步咯。咁另外個積極性啦，去學嘢，因為之前你完全會喺屋企，你就算攞住個 iPad 叫佢去學嘅嘢咧，佢都係好有限個積極性喺度咯。但係而家係實體課啦，咁真係跟一班人去學嘢嘅時候咧，咁佢主動性同埋積極性係強咗好多咯。
咁都聽到真係復常同埋疫後會回復翻過往嘅一個習慣啦。咁參與運動的確可能對一啲尤其是特殊需要嘅同學仔非常之重要㗎。咁暫時咧唔該晒 Peggy 先。咁都聽到疫情嘅期間遇到好多困難啦。咁亦都而家喺呢個時間咧，我哋都介紹一下共融親切嘅共融運動計劃。其實我哋做緊啲乜嘢咧？好，親切嘅共融計劃咧，其實我哋喺2012年起咧已經開始展開㗎啦。咁到而家已經有10年嘅經驗啦。咁由最初咧，其實只係得帆船運動項目，到而家咧已經發展咗成為4大嘅運動項目啦。見到有健球啦、欖球啦、帆船同埋龍舟。咁親切喺2019年嘅研究裏邊，亦都發現得30%嘅能力障礙人士咧，佢哋達到足夠嘅運動量。同埋有70%嘅受訪者咧，亦都表示佢哋可以參與嘅運動種類好少，選擇好單一。所以咧，親切好希望咧能夠提供更加多參與運動嘅平台，俾到一啲主流嘅參加者啦，同埋特殊需要嘅參加者喺運動中咧有更加多嘅交流機會，令到大家都可以平等參與。咁成個計劃嘅目的，我哋希望參加者可以透過參與共融嘅運動啦，能夠喺個人嘅成長啦、社交發展同埋實踐共融咧，作出正面嘅改變嘅。 咁而家都介紹下每個運動嘅特色啦。點解會揀呢4個運動咧？咁首先介紹下毽球。咁毽球運動本身咧，佢好注重參與、尊重、包容呢3個元素嘅，能夠適合唔同能力嘅參加者。咁當中亦都有啲規則同共融理念係好吻合，係一項非常之適合推廣共融嘅運動。咁而欖球第2個運動咧，係一個好強調團隊合作嘅運動。參加者咧可以喺過程裏邊透過運動嘅交流啦，發掘到每個隊員嘅強項，更加體現到咧共融裏邊多元參與嘅重要性。咁去到水上活動方面啦，帆船運動其實係一個非常之具挑戰性嘅水上環境裏邊咧，我哋唔同能力嘅參加者，佢哋需要互相商量嘅。咁佢哋一齊要達到共識，先可以繼續去航行作出決定啦。所以好能夠提升到參加者解決難題嘅能力嘅。而最後就係龍舟啦，龍舟咧嗰個同步性啦，同埋參加者嘅毅力亦都非常之重要。就算幾攰都好啦，希望隊友之間嘅鼓勵可以學習到堅持嘅態度。咁總括嚟講啦，共融運動、親切嘅共融運動對參加者嘅個人發展啦，可以實踐到能力障礙人士參與社會嘅權利都有正面嘅成效。而最重要就係親切透過唔同嘅比賽同埋分享嘅平台，令到參加者咧可以同大眾咧展示到佢哋嘅學習成果。例如我哋有比賽啦，可以將佢哋出色嘅運動表現展現出嚟啦。主流同埋特殊需要人士，佢哋好有默契合作啦。而呢啲畫面咧，可以希望改變到社會對於能力障礙人士嘅一啲固有觀念，提升翻對佢哋嘅關注。咁親切已經有咁多年推行共融運動嘅經驗啦，見到參加者都有正面嘅改變，所以我哋喺2019年開始委託香港浸會大學為我哋親切共融運動計劃進行咗2年嘅研究，希望可以驗證到計劃對唔同持份者嘅成效。咁希望咧，我哋未來以實證為本嘅方式，更加有系統啦、有效咁樣推行共融運動。咁共融運動嘅介紹係去到呢度啦，咁將個時間交翻俾 Mabel。
唔該晒嘉軒。咁就喺呢個時間咧，我哋會由蘇教授同埋譚教授去講解親切運動零界限共融運動對社會影響同埋成效研究嘅背景、方法同埋主要結果嘅。Now I pass the floor to Professor Atara Sivan and Professor Tam.
Yes, good morning, everybody. It's our honor to present to you the results of the study that we carried, commissioned by TRITS, to really reflect systematically on their hard work to bring about social inclusion. So this is just the topic, the research on impacts of TRITS sports for all projects on social inclusion. We have 3 members of the team, myself, Professor Vicky Tam, and Mr. Tony Cho. Next, please. Next slides, please. Okay, good. The aims of the study, as I said before, TRITS has been doing a wonderful job for so many years, and now they wanted to systematically try to see the effect, the impact of this wonderful Sports for All project on the participants in the 4 inclusive sports programs: sailing, kinball, dragon boat, and rugby. The study took almost 2 years, and in order to get a comprehensive picture, we use a mixed method, which includes both interviews and questionnaires and some observations. Next slides, please. Good. We had the sampling, the sample size data were included basically 45 youth with special needs, 58 volunteers, and 24 parents. To make it very systematically, we collected data before and after each of the 4 sports programs. We conducted interviews and questionnaires on the special needs youth, volunteers, their parents, and teachers to get a very comprehensive picture. And we also collected additional information and data from students and volunteers from a second round of sailing and kinball program. Next, please. We had basically interviews with the group and also individual on participant experience through their participation in those 4 inclusive sports programs. We use a grounded theory approach, which is basically a systematic methodology that conducted by social scientists like us, and it involved a kind of construction of some theories and concepts through collecting some data and analyzing them. So the questionnaires that we used were basically on dimensions of social inclusion, because TREATS wants to see the contribution of these sports to social inclusion. And we also were very interested to see any changes in students' abilities as a result of that, more emotionally, socially, etc. So in order to get even a better picture, we ourselves went and did some observations and also had some informal talks, both with the participant and of course with the TREAT staff. Next, please. So our finding basically can be presented in what we call the 3P model. The planning, the stage where we planned the activity, what the students felt, what their expectations, and also what were the viewpoints of volunteers. Then we talk about the process, what happened through the process of running those 4 inclusive sports programs, establishing some communication between members, sharing responsibilities, and even taking some proactive roles. And then the outcomes, of course, we talk about different aspects of students' development, personally and socially. Also, volunteers' perceptions and feelings and behavior, and of course, all this contribution to social inclusion. So we can now see these slides in Chinese. Next, please. It will capture what I said. So it's like a system of planning, preparation, going through the process, and then outcomes of the study. Okay, next, please. Let's just talk a little bit about the first issue, which is the planning and preparation. So when we interviewed the students at the beginning, they had a lot of feelings, and they were very highly motivated to participate in this program. They shared a lot of happiness and the feeling of they want to explore, they want to achieve more, and they even wanted to, they had expectations to develop some abilities and skills in order to be more integrative in the whole society. And when we interview volunteers, also very motivated to participate. And at the same time, they also had some concerns because they didn't work, some of them didn't have any exposure to people with special needs, and they were a bit concerned about the abilities of students and how can they behave, how can they communicate with them, and so on and so forth. Let's move to the next slides. Talked about the process. It's very amazing to see that with all this background, throughout the process of those 4 sports activities, they were establishing communication, the participant with each other, and they basically started to have the contact either by verbal or non-verbal communication, and they collaborated to achieve some common goals. There was a lot of sharing responsibility. For example, in the sailing, one had to pull the rope, the other one had to navigate. And it was really wonderful to see the proactive participation of both sides, and especially the youth with special needs, that they actually took some roles with the support of the volunteers and proactively contributed to the success of this activity. And another very important element is all those concerns that were raised by volunteers totally disappeared. Some of them were saying that they are amazed to see how wonderful they can cooperate with the youth and how wonderful the youngsters can actually develop all those abilities to serve as team members and even to take proactive actions. Next slide. For the outcomes, we are going to show you both in talking about it, and even show you my colleague, Professor Tem, will show you some results statistically significant results. There were changes, a lot of changes, both in students and volunteers through the participation in this Sports for All project. Students developed a lot of personal and interpersonal skills, getting in touch with people, taking some actions, feeling good about their contributions, etc. And volunteers also developed different attitudes. They were at the beginning, as I said before, very concerned that they will not be able to communicate. They didn't know about the abilities of the participants. And the results of the project and the participation in these inclusive sports activities, they realized that they actually know very well about the needs and the abilities of those youth, and they felt enjoyable and happy to continue to participate. Quite a number of volunteers said that treats should continue and they get more supported with these wonderful inclusive activities, because this is exactly the way that social inclusion is in operation, where we provide platform for people with special needs to interact and get in positive contact with the rest of the society, so they won't feel isolated and the society would understand their needs and they all be together in harmony. So I will move the next slides to my colleague, Professor Tem, to show more statistical results.
Yes, thank you, Atara. Yes, so what Atara just presented would be, let me just make sure. Okay, what Atara just presented would be findings that are drawn mainly from the interviews and also our observation of the programs. So, and then for these findings that we're going to report here, draw from questionnaire survey, we want to make use of quantitative measurements to see how changes have occurred before and after the program on the participating students with special needs, as well as those volunteers who are taking part in the program. And given the limit in time for this morning, and so we'll just focus on the main findings. Now, first of all, this slide showed the changes in students' performance with respect to personal and social attributes as rated by their teachers. Okay, so since this is a small sample and we collected data from 20 students, so we make use of non-parametric statistics tests in order to see whether the changes before and after the programs are significant. And we are very happy to report that among the 6 dimensions measured, 4 of them show significant differences on the students before and after taking part in the Sports for All inclusive programs. And those dimensions include self-control, relationship, and decision-making, as well as social isolation. That means teachers observe that their students, after taking part in the inclusive sports program, they show improvement in those 4 aspects as demonstrated. Okay, next slide, please. Now, we also have invited the volunteers who worked with the students in the inclusive sports program, and we measure their performance in relation to another 6 attributes that address dimensions of social inclusions. Measurements were taken before and after the volunteers' participation in the program, so the changes would reflect how the programs have impacted upon them. And we have collected data from 36 volunteers, and we make use of repeat measure multivariate analysis of variance tests in order to identify the level of significance. And again, the results are very encouraging because we do see significant improvement in the 6 dimensions in relation to social inclusion as reported by the volunteers themselves. And those dimensions include diversity, respect, teamwork, inclusiveness, emotional sensitivity, and contribution. And all these relate to how these volunteers perceive themselves in terms of these important indicators of social inclusion. Back to you, Atara.
Atara, you need to unmute your microphone.
Okay. As you can see by the results that we presented, it's extremely positive. And we come to the conclusions that definitely Sports for All project is very successful in promoting social inclusion in the society, the contact of the people together, the cooperation, the support of treats brought about enormous changes to both students participating and volunteers. So we highly recommend to continue offering and even further disseminate the 4 Inclusive Sports program in Hong Kong, so as to create more platform to collaborate among youth with all abilities. And I do hope that the public will support treats by funding and by manpower and everything to fulfill this great mission. And we do know that participating in this sports activity definitely will continue to develop youth special needs and break the stereotypes and open the door for harmony and definitely enhance social inclusion, which is the main elements that treats is aiming for. So this is the end of our part. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Professor Stephen and Professor Tam。唔該晒蘇教授同埋譚教授。接住落嚟咧，我哋都邀請咗今次參與我哋共融運動嘅能障兒童家長 Peggy 同埋咧我哋嘅參與義工巧瑩喺當中咧分享佢哋喺疫情期間參與親切共融運動，為佢哋帶嚟啲咩改變嘅。咁將時間交俾佢哋。
好，唔該晒 Mabel。咁啊，啱啱我哋嘅教授都分享咗我哋嘅研究報告啦，係啊，咁都聽到可能喺個人成長啊，或者社會共融方面啊，團隊合作啊，都見到係有一個成效喺度啊。咁唔知呢個成效，尤其是喺疫情阿君耀參加完我哋嘅共融運動計劃之後，會唔會喺佢身上都見到咧？或者有冇啲咩進步喺佢身上都出現到咧？
經過咗呢個小帆船嘅訓練之後咧，我發覺君耀咧喺各方面咧都有個好明顯嘅進步啊。咁譬如君耀咧不嬲個為人比較細膽啦，亦都唔容易去接觸陌生人同埋溝通㗎。咁經過呢個帆船訓練之後咧，咁佢都可能啲義工啦，同埋教練啦，同埋接觸咗唔同嘅參加者啦，咁變咗喺佢嘅社交方面咧，同埋個主動性咧係好咗好多咯。咁另外佢嗰個獨立嘅能力亦都係。呢個係最明顯嘅，因為去到小帆船訓練嘅時候咧，去到個場地嗰度咧，佢要自己處理好多嘅用具啦，或者個流程，佢要聽教練啦或者義工佢嘅指示去做。如果做唔到嗰啲指示咧，變咗佢未必可以達到個目的，因為去到船上只有佢同義工嗰個分享啦，同埋都要互相溝通先可以做到嗰件事。所以喺獨立呢方面咧，我覺得佢係明顯係進步咗好多嘅。咁同埋佢個自理能力啦，咁以前佢真係啲嘢就自己嘅用具咧，未必係包裝或者攞走翻屋企，好多時都會留低啲嘢喺個場地咯。咁經過小帆船嘅訓練之後咧，咁好明顯咧，佢日後去其他嘅訓練嘅時候咧，佢都會執齊翻自己啲嘢咯。咁最後我諗係情緒上啦，咁佢星期日就去小帆船訓練啦。咁期間星期一至星期六咧，佢已經有個目標，佢知道星期日佢會玩一個佢自己好中意嘅活動咯。所以變咗星期一至星期六，如果有咩事你叫佢做咧，只要你同佢講星期日如果乖啲，星期日咧就可以去小帆船運動啦。咁變咗佢就成個禮拜都好乖咯。咁個情緒咁佢乖，咁情緒都會好好多咯。
即係聽到佢個自理啦、獨立嘅能力啦，同埋喺嗰個社交上都有一個進步咯。咁我哋喺活動都見到，好開心嘅，係啦。咁另外咧都請到巧瑩啦，係啦。咁其實佢係我哋共融籃球計劃裏邊嘅一個主流參加者嚟嘅。咁因為除咗能障嘅朋友去參加我哋嘅運動之餘咧，我哋改變主流人士對於能力障礙人士咧，亦都係我哋另外一個非常之大嘅目標嚟嘅。其實巧瑩咧係我哋嘅一個業餘嘅欖球運動員啦。咁佢亦都從事教育嘅工作，亦都成為咗老師啦，係啦。咁可唔可以都介紹一下你喺參與我哋嘅共融欖球活動之前咧，你有冇接觸過一啲特殊需要嘅人士，即係我哋俗稱叫 SEN 啦，對佢哋嘅觀感又係點樣嘅咧？
其實咧，我本身就冇接觸過 SEN 嘅人士嘅，咁好多時候可能純粹喺搭車啊，會見到某啲 SEN 人士咧，佢哋可能控制唔到自己情緒啊，會大叫啊咁樣。咁另一個對佢哋嘅認識咧，可能就係書本上嘅認識啦。咁知道咗咧，唔同 SEN 嘅類別咧，可能佢哋嘅特點會係點樣。咁但係要講親身嘅接觸咧，今次就真係第一次咧，有咁親密嘅一個交流。
咁既然有呢個咁樣嘅交流啦，親身接觸啦，咁你覺得真係同你真實去接觸佢哋之後，你感受到最大嘅挑戰啊係啲乜嘢咧？
我覺得係個溝通上面有啲困難啦，因為咁啱咧，我個 partner 君耀咧，佢就係一個比較內斂啲、內向啲嘅小朋友嚟嘅。咁好多時候係得我喺度講緊嘢咁樣啦，而佢咧就冇乜俾好多反應我嘅。咁有啲時候都令我有啲挫敗感咯。我就覺得佢唔係冇聽我講嘢啊。
呢個係即係可能一開始相處嗰個印象啦。咁我哋其實個運動計劃咧，共融運動計劃都有長達5節嘅時間啦。咁亦都希望喺呢個過程中慢慢有一個改變嘅。你自己喺呢5節嘅訓練同埋呢一個交流裏邊，對佢哋有冇一啲改觀啊？或者你喺當中同佢哋相處嘅時候，有冇啲正面嘅效果出咗嚟咧？
好似我頭先咁樣講咧，君耀咧就係比較怕醜啲啦，同埋佢不善於表達嘅。咁變咗好多時候咧，我就要更加去細心去觀察佢哋嘅眼神啊，或者佢肢體語言啊、行為上咧，其實佢哋有冇啲咩諗法啊咁樣。咁同埋譬如有時指導下同埋陪佢哋學打籃球嘅時候咧，咁就要即係再細心啲啦，同埋又唔知佢哋明唔明白我講咩喎，因為佢哋冇回答我，口頭上冇回答我啊嘛。咁但係有個好明顯嘅例子就係教練叫佢哋做翻呢啲 skill 出嚟嘅時候，原來佢哋係真係做到出嚟嘅，即係君耀係真係做到教練所教佢哋嘅技巧出嚟嘅。咁所以我就覺得，君耀原來有聽教練講嘢啦，有聽我講嘢之餘咧，仲要佢係有能力係可以做翻呢啲我哋想佢學嘅技巧出嚟咯。
咁你就有好多打籃球嘅經驗啦，係啦。咁喺一般嘅籃球訓練啦或者活動裏邊，同我哋親切共融籃球計劃有啲乜嘢嘅唔同咧？
我諗過其中一個唔同就係因為平時練波咧就係多數一個教練咧就對一大班嘅學生啦，咁但係今次活動咧就係可以配對啦，咁一個主流人士配對一個 SEN 人士咁樣，咁所以呢個一對一嘅教學啦，或者話陪佢哋學籃球嚟講咧，就可以俾我更加細心去睇到佢哋學習上面有啲咩需要啊，或者個技巧上面咧，我係可以點樣講解俾佢哋聽啊咁樣咯。咁同埋就係另一樣嘢就係要少啲講嘢啦，然後多啲去示範俾佢哋睇啦，等佢哋多啲練習咁樣咯。
冇錯啊，其實同特殊需要人士相處咧，即係都唔係淨係書本上嘅知識，而係真係親身嘅體驗先能夠知道每一個人嘅需要咯。係啊，咁今次參加完呢個共融嘅籃球計劃啦，其實對你自己一個最大嘅感受啊，或者一啲啟示啊，可唔可以都分享一下咧？
本身咧，其實我係參加呢個計劃之前係有啲擔心嘅。咁我擔心唔係在於驚partner 會對我做啲咩啦，係擔心咧我會唔識同佢哋相處。因為好似頭先咁講啦，好多時候都係一啲流於表面嘅對佢哋嘅認識啦。咁所以今次真係親身接觸嘅時候究竟會係點樣嘅咧？但係我發現其實同普通人一樣啦，每個人都有唔同嘅性格或者特點。咁其實 SEN 嘅人佢哋都係一樣咯。咁而君耀嚟講咧，即係好似以君耀嚟做例子，就係佢係一個性格比較內向啲嘅小朋友啦。咁所以譬如陪佢一齊學籃球嚟講，只係需要當佢係一個少啲講嘢嘅小朋友咁樣去教佢哋，咁就 OK 啦。即係唔需要話特登會諗下有啲咩要幫佢哋咁樣咯。係，其實佢哋因為都好有能力去做好多嘢嘅。
都知道你自己都有好多嘅調節同埋改變啦。聽你講之前好多時你都會幫佢哋去做啲嘢啦，係咪啊？
係啊，即係譬如我哋有時咧放 break 嘅時候咧，就會有提供一啲小食俾佢哋嘅。咁好多時候我就會甚至小食嘅包裝又會想幫佢開啊，水樽嘅水樽蓋我又會想幫佢開啊。但係到最後咧，慢慢即係經過呢幾堂就發現，咦，其實呢啲小事佢哋根本有能力可以做到嘅。唔係話下下都一定要人幫忙先可以完成咯。
所以呢個亦都係我哋其中一個活動好大嘅目標啦。 希望佢哋有一個平等嘅相處，主流同特殊需要人士，亦都唔係一定要幫邊個咯。係啊，咁啊或者推遠啲啦，你自己都作為一個教育工作者啦，係啦，咁喺呢個經驗裏邊，共融欖球計劃點樣將你體驗到啊，或者頭先將你嘅感受真係活用喺你日常生活或者工作上咧，對你即係有冇一個幫助？
我諗有一個好大嘅得着咧，就係好多時候教學上啦，唔需要講好多好概念性嘅嘢啦，又或者講解嘅時候咧，個時間唔需要咁長。好多時候拆細佢，俾一個好簡單嘅指令，少啲去講嘢咧，反而譬如我自己親身多啲去示範，然後俾更加多嘅時間咧，佢哋去練習咧，呢一樣嘢係一個即係對我嚟講係一個教學上面好大嘅得着咯。
咁都多謝巧瑩分享咗好多佢活動後嘅感受啦，同埋尤其是同一啲特殊需要人士相處，真係親身相處落啦嘅一啲得着啦。咁我諗呢個機會都好珍貴啦，同埋好有回憶啦。咁去到最後啦，係啦，咁都好難得請到兩位嚟，可唔可以都分享下即係由經歷咗一啲參與共融嘅運動計劃啦，其實我哋最希望真係可以改變到社會對能力障礙人士嘅固有印象啦，係啦，有冇一啲説話都想同翻社會嘅人士去講翻啦？即係有對於去接觸能力障礙人士，其實有冇一啲期望啊，或者一啲呼籲啊？係，不如 Peggy 先啦，係啊。
咁其實我覺得咧，就係一般嘅市民咧，未必對我哋呢啲特殊小朋友咧，就好深入嘅了解。通常佢哋可能係一啲報章雜誌啊，或者一啲片頭可能睇到一啲資料咁樣啫。其實一般呢啲小朋友其實就冇乜特別嘢嘅，佢嘅能力係絕對同普通小朋友可以一樣，只不過咧我哋係需要俾多少少嘅耐性俾佢，同埋因為正如頭先考驗都會提及，佢哋嘅反應未必可以即時俾到你，但係你講嘅説話佢心裏邊佢係聽到會記住咯，所以變咗我諗係耐性啦，同埋希望社會可以未必話好需要幫佢哋，不過希望可以創造多少少機會俾佢接觸一啲嘅主流人士啦，例如好似親切，譬如呢個小帆船運動或者欖球訓練，呢啲實實在在就真係俾到一啲機會俾我哋啲小朋友咧，同一啲主流嘅人士咧係親身嘅接觸，令到普羅市民大眾對佢哋更加了解咯。
咁考完你咧，你又有啲咩想分享？最後。
我覺得咧，其實可能好多時社會上嘅人未必咧對 SEN 人士咧有啲負面嘅標籤嘅，反而有好多好想幫佢哋嘅心。但係我哋最近都成日講話共融，咁但係其實如果真係要共融嘅話，我哋首先第一樣嘢要做嘅就係相信其實 SEN 人士咧，佢哋都有佢哋本身嘅能力咯。咁我哋首先第一步，如果大眾人士都可以相信咗佢哋有能力之後，先再可以俾佢哋有機會去融入呢個社會。
咁都多謝 Peggy 同埋巧瑩嘅分享啦。我諗你哋嘅親身感受，亦都希望可以感染到多啲社會嘅人士啦。係啦，咁亦都希望我哋嘅共融運動計劃可以俾到更加多嘅社會人士認識同埋知道啦，亦都同我哋一齊同行去推廣共融呢件事啦。咁呢個時間差唔多啦，交翻俾阿 Mabel 先。
好，唔該晒嘉軒、Peggy 同埋巧瑩嘅親身嘅經歷嘅分享。咁我諗大家咧睇到今次嘅研究，其實都證明咗啦，共融運動唔單止有效幫助能障青少年咧，提供一個平等參與運動嘅機會，亦都能夠提升佢哋嘅個人能力，包括佢哋嘅自信心啦、社交啦、解決問題嘅能力，打破社交隔膜。對社會大眾而言，可以增加佢哋對能障人士嘅認識同埋接納，提升咧佢哋同唔同人溝通嘅能力同埋技巧，可以促進社會共融嘅。所以咧，我都好希望政府啦或者社會各界咧，可以攜手咧去推動共融運動。我哋都將研究嘅結果啦，同埋多年嚟嘅經驗整合，歸納出咧成功策劃同埋推行共融運動嘅5大要點。第一點咧就係為參加者咧做充分嘅事前準備。我哋所有嘅共融運動咧都會招募主流嘅青少年、主流嘅義工啦，同埋能障嘅青少年一齊參加嘅。佢哋喺未接觸過大家之前咧，我哋都會做一個營前簡介嘅活動，等佢哋咧可以作好準備嘅。喺個簡介活動裏面咧，我哋內容會包括即係講解下活動嘅目的啦， 以一啲體驗遊戲去提升主流參加者咧對能障參加者嘅同理心，去教授佢哋咧未來同拍檔相處嘅一啲技巧同埋小貼士，同埋咧了解佢哋對共融運動嘅期望。我哋務求咧令到參加者喺認知咧、態度咧同埋行為方面咧都做好準備嘅。第二點咧係強調團隊嘅合作。團隊合作係尤其重要，因為有好多傳統嘅運動模式咧，都好着重個人嘅力量啊、速度啊、技巧，咁好自然就會凸顯咗大家嘅能力差異。而共融運動咧，其實係減少單一標準，我哋好着重團隊嘅合作啦、互相嘅配合，為到共同嘅目標去進發。所以咧，能障青少年同埋主流參加者咧，喺共融運動嘅過程中，係能夠建立互信嘅關係，等大家咧好似成為自己人，成為一份子咁樣樣。不過要做到團隊合作咧，喺選擇合適嘅共融運動咧係尤其重要嘅。就以親切4大共融運動項目毽球、帆船、欖球同埋龍舟為例，每項運動本質咧都需要團隊合作，隊員之間嘅配合同埋溝通，同埋咧要有清晰嘅共同目標嘅。除咗喺揀運動之外咧，其實我哋每節嘅共融運動之後咧，親切嘅職員都會帶領參加者分享啦，同埋回顧翻當日嘅成功經驗，欣賞翻拍檔嘅地方、遇到嘅困難等等，將佢哋咧實實在在嘅經驗轉化，可以應用喺日常生活裡面嘅。第三點咧就係專業嘅共融活動設計。即係唔會因為參加者能力嘅高低，影響佢哋平等參與嘅機會。我哋嘅活動主任咧喺簡介會嘅時候，透過咧互動啦同埋遊戲，會去了解能障參加者佢哋嘅溝通啦、活動能力或者期望，然後咧就會作出合適同埋有效嘅共融運動設計嘅。我哋亦都喺每項運動開展之前，會同教練先開會啦，就住參加者嘅能力去計劃教學內容。例如我哋會將較複雜嘅技巧咧分拆成較細嘅步驟，又或者建議喺過程裡面咧多啲作示範。我哋亦都會微調一啲玩法同埋規則，令到參加者都可以因應佢哋嘅能力咧都參與喺其中嘅。第四點係會配對主流同埋能力障礙參加者成為拍檔組合。拍檔組合咧其實係要打破翻大家對能障人士就係受助者嘅觀念，為主流同埋能障參加者咧建立一個平等互信嘅好拍檔組合。就好似帆船運動為例啊，我哋咧會配對一位主流嘅義工同埋一位嘅能障青年成為拍檔。佢哋喺過程裡面咧，佢哋係會一齊學習帆船嘅知識啦，同埋技巧，有合作啦，有分工，一齊咧喺大海嗰度咧一齊駕駛帆船，最後都會一齊咧去參加比賽嘅。所以拍檔嘅組合咧，其實大大增加咧彼此深入嘅互動啦，促進認識同埋交流，打破咧對彼此固有嘅觀念嘅。第五點咧就係跨界別同埋專業團體嘅協作。我哋今次4大共融運動咧，都夥拍咗唔同嘅運動組織，以跨界別咧同埋協作嘅模式，將運動組織嘅專業同埋資源，包括場地啊、專業教練、器材等等咧，結合親切嘅共融理念同埋創新服務，讓我哋嘅參加者咧可以發揮最大嘅潛能嘅。除咗運動組織啦，我哋都有同企業合作，就好似毽球為例啦。我哋邀請咗6間企業嘅員工同埋6間特殊學校嘅學生咧，組成6隊共用嘅毽球隊伍。佢哋咧一齊接受毽球嘅訓練，一齊咧去參加我哋嘅比賽，透過運動賽事去實踐平等參與嘅機會，提升翻公眾人士對能障人士嘅認識，希望咧扭轉佢哋固有嘅觀念嘅。喺社會復常嘅階段，我哋期望社會各界咧真係可以攜手策劃同埋推行呢個共融運動，將運動結合共融理念，令更多因為疫情咧而引致身心發展滯後嘅能障青少年可以平等參與運動、參與社會，發展個人嘅潛能，讓我哋咧一齊推動共融社會嘅。咁今日咧發佈嘅內容咧就去到呢一度，咁而家會有問答嘅環節嘅，係啦。咁咧喺 Zoom 嘅嘉賓同埋傳媒朋友咧，你哋都可以留低發問。咁首先咧，為咗 令我哋容易適應大家嘅身份啦。提提大家，你哋都可以喺視窗顯示到你嘅稱呼同埋所屬團體嘅。另外稍後我哋都會傳送翻今日嘅新聞稿俾各大傳媒。咁傳媒朋友，你哋可以喺問與答 Q&A 個位置咧，留低翻你哋機構嘅姓名啦、機構嘅名稱啦、你哋嘅姓名、電郵同埋電話。咁呢啲資料咧都只有我哋先會睇得到嘅啫。咁各位嘉賓同埋傳媒朋友，你哋而家咧可以喺問與答嗰個位置咧去輸入你哋嘅問題啦。咁首先咧，有一位朋友咧都問下，真係我哋喺呢咁多年咧推動呢個共融運動裏面咧遇到啲咩困難喎？咁不如我都請我哋嘅服務主管李嘉軒都解答下呢條問題。
好啊，多謝你嘅提問啊。咁如果講到遇到嘅困難咧，我諗有兩方面啦。第一就係頭先Mabel 有提及過嘅跨專業合作啊，因為喺我哋嘅機構專業裏邊係做一個促進者嘅角色啦，亦都喺嗰個活動設計上希望能夠做到主流同特殊需要嘅平等參與。咁喺呢個共融運動計劃裏邊咧，最唔同嘅位就係我哋要能夠同一啲專業嘅教練去一齊配合，去做到一個好嘅訓練計劃啊，同埋做到平等參與啊呢一啲元素出嚟嘅。咁好多時往往咧，一坊間嘅教練咧，佢哋有非常之高嘅運動專業知識，但係對於去教一啲特殊需要嘅人士咧，往往可能過往就未有太多嘅經驗，例如同佢哋相處啦，同佢哋講解個運動點樣玩啦。咁可能之前都可能聽一啲家長啊或者參加者講過啊，教練可能喺個表達上咧好理論性，係啦，咁就建議咧，其實要多啲嘅示範啊，好似頭先我哋所講，或者多啲嘅練習啊，其實可能會對我哋嘅特殊需要人士啦，甚至乎主流去一齊去學一個新運動嘅時候咧，會更加有效。咁所以同喺教練啊或者一啲運動總會嘅合作上咧，我哋喺事前嘅準備係非常之重要啦，亦都係我哋喺策劃運動裏邊最大嘅一個挑戰嚟㗎。咁但係經過即係呢過往呢幾年嘅經驗裏邊咧，尤其是可能同某一啲嘅運動總會啊，佢哋好清楚我哋成個活動目的啦，技巧方面佢哋一樣着重，但係同時間佢哋好清晰點樣令到一個共融嘅設計，亦都可以擺放喺我哋嘅活動當中咧，令到我哋嘅主流同特殊需要嘅同學仔，佢能夠有一個共同嘅目標咧，呢個係尤其之重要啊！咁所以呢一個係我諗喺一個跨專業合作裏邊，我哋遇到嘅其中一個挑戰嚟嘅。咁我諗喺個參加者方面咧，好多時往往咧，好似頭先巧瑩都有講嘅，點樣唔係用一個受助者嘅概念去對待我哋嘅能力障礙同學仔咧？呢個觀念上嘅改變，亦都係對於我哋嚟講，都係另一個挑戰嚟嘅。因為往往我哋嘅主流義工好熱情啦，好想喺一個好短嘅時間裏邊，能夠令到我哋嘅特殊需要同學能夠做到一件事出嚟啦。咁但係喺呢個過程裏邊，亦都忽略咗有冇時間俾佢哋去嘗試咧？從錯誤中裏邊繼續進步同學習咧？唔係幫佢去做，而係俾機會去做咧。咁呢個觀念係需要時間去慢慢改變啦。無論事前嘅準備啦，活動當中成個體驗嘅過程啦，我哋親切嘅同事咧都會不斷去提醒，俾翻一個叫做責任，俾翻主流，無論主流同埋特殊需要嘅同學仔都係重要嘅。咁所以我諗呢兩個係我哋活動裏邊最大嘅挑戰啦。但係亦都係我哋促進共融裏邊好重要嘅一個元素啊。好，唔該晒。
唔該晒嘉軒。咁另外都有一位朋友咧，佢都有問啊，即係頭先有提到，我哋都會微調一啲嘅玩法規則啦，又或者咧因應參加者嘅能力咧，去即係作出一啲教學上面嘅調整㗎。 咁佢都想問下，即係會唔會咧喺個調整上面咧遇到好大困難，同埋有冇一啲具體嘅例子可以同我哋分享下？咁不如都請嘉軒講下，因為嘉軒就好多經驗啦喺呢一方面，同埋教練即係諗下點樣去即係調節嘅內容。
不如我攞欖球嚟首先做個例子啦，係啦。可能最近大家都有開始留意7人欖球啦。大家見到大球場嗰個叫做大細咧，其實係一個正規欖球嘅運動嘅尺寸嚟㗎。咁喺我哋共融運動裏邊咧，我諗嗰個體驗先係最重要啦。咁所以譬如我哋喺個場地嘅設計度可唔可以唔使咁大咧？可能整翻細呢個場，咁等到可能參加者掂欖球嘅次數多啲咧，又或者喺個規則上邊去做一啲微調，譬如過往可能欖球啲教練都話啦，不如咧我哋每一個參加者都能夠接觸到個欖球，我哋先可以去達陣嘅，係我哋所謂叫入球啦，係啦。咁呢一啲微調嘅過程咧，其實都能夠令到第一每一個人參與到啦，我哋成日講嘅平等參與。第二，將佢分拆或者去重新去調整另外一個規則嘅時候，佢哋都喺學習上啦，或者大家嗰個共同目標上咧，容易啲適應。咁呢個係欖球嗰個例子啦。咁帆船咧，亦都係一個好好嘅例子，因為帆船嘅組件有好多嘅，佢有控制左右啦，佢有控制點樣去感受個風力而調節嗰個帆嘅位置啦，係啦。咁頭先可能講到喺個船上邊嗰個分配角色好重要咧，咁所以教練同埋親切嘅同事咧，佢哋會一齊傾會唔會今節咧能力障礙嘅同學仔可能可以集中喺控制方向嘅，而另外一位主流嘅義工可以控制嗰個帆嘅大細先嘅，係啦。咁而下一步咧，我哋再分拆嘅咧，就會去調翻轉個角色啦。咁個好處就係佢能夠將個技巧分拆。第二咧，亦都透過大家轉換唔同嘅角色咧，佢哋可以互相學習。咁最後可能係一個毽球嘅例子啦。我哋同毽球嘅教練其實都會去傾毽球裏邊其實如果認識呢個運動咧，佢哋有6大規則嘅，係啦。咁6大規則咧，通常可能一般嘅主流人士嗰個教學方式就係我講晒呢6個規則，我先去玩嗰個比賽啦，係啦。咁但係我哋都同毽球總會嘅教練都會去商量會唔會呢啲規則可以變成一個可以叫做模擬嘅模擬嘅練習，而令到佢理解咧。例如個波推出去最少要打3米嘅，呢個係一個規則啦。咁但係我哋唔係講出嚟，我哋係可能俾一個距離，明確嘅距離，裏邊可能黐咗一啲標記，俾佢知原來3米咧就等於呢個長度。咁打出去嘅時候咧，你只要過咗呢一個標記咧，咁即係表示你冇犯規啦。咁樣，咁呢啲都係一啲叫做喺同教練去傾或者我哋喺活動設計裏邊需要留意。第一就係參加者嗰個理解能力同埋特性啦。咁再加埋教練裏邊嘅專業意見去再重新去設計成個共融運動嘅方法或者嗰個溝通嘅過程啦。
唔該晒，咁多謝呢位朋友嘅發問啊，因為大家都睇得到咧，除咗係即係當日大家點樣去調教個內容之後，其實事前嗰個評估啦，即係工作人員之間嗰個配合，同埋對於能障人士嗰個了解，其實都係好重要嘅。咁我哋今日嘅發佈會咧就係去到呢一度啦。咁再次多謝各位嘉賓、各位傳媒朋友同埋各位公眾咧出席我哋今日嘅發佈活動。多謝晒各位。